Very good evening unto you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our very first episode of the people and their culture, where I'm going to bring you the history about the Nilotic languages. The Nilotic languages, and from what you can see, from what you can hear, is that the Nilotic speakers, the word Nilot comes from the word Nile, which refers to the very famous River Nile. Now, when we are talking about the Nilotic languages, we are tackling the geographical area, the native speakers, the language distribution and subdivisions of the very language that we are going to discuss. Now, when we are talking about the Nilotic speakers or the Nilotic languages, we are talking about the Eastern Nilotic languages as the subdivisions of the group, and the Southern Nilotic speakers, the Western Nilotic speakers. And we are tackling the Eastern Nilotic speakers. We are talking about the people whose original home is Equatoria in the southern of Sudan. That is South Sudan. And the geographical area is Equatoria, still South Sudan. And the Tanzanian highlands. That is where they're based. And their speakers are mainly cattle herders, as we can see, or you can poise a similarity in that culture when it comes to the Nilotic speakers or the Nilots, specifically the Eastern Nilotic languages or the speakers. Now, under the Eastern Nilotic speakers, we are talking about the Bari or the Karo people, who are based in the central Equatoria, that is South Sudan. And they have several dialects, which include the Kakwa, the Kuku, the Mandari, the Nyepu, and the Ligo. Now, when it's very diverse, and that is why we are talking about other distinct tribes. The other distinct tribes are the Bari people, the Pojulu, the Mundari, the Kakwa, Nyangwara, and the Kuku. And one very important thing to note about these people is that Bari is a tonal language. Now, when we talk about the tonal language, we are talking about a language that has got vowel harmony, that has got phonological rule in which the vowels of a given domain must share certain distinctive features. That is the harmony that we are talking about. And now, we found out that English is not a tonal language. And when we are talking about a language being or not being a tonal language, we simply refer to something of a kind that, okay, like the vowels have got no harmony, okay? And let's skip to the other one. Let's go to the Southern Nilotic group, or the Southern Nilotic speakers. The Southern Nilotic speakers consist of mainly the Western Kenya and Northern Tanzania, with Kupsabin being spoken on the Ugandan side of Mount Elgon. Now you see the geographical distribution, the Western Kenya, the Eastern Uganda, and the Northern Tanzania. And the linguistic classification is in the very order is that they are the Nilo-Saharan, Eastern Sudanic, and the Nilotic, and then Southern Nilotic, derived from the Southern Nilotic languages. And ladies and gentlemen, it's of my pleasure to inform you that the subdivisions of the Southern Nilotic languages are the Kalenjin, the Tachogoa, and the Kalenjin consists of the Kalenjin people, in Uganda and Kenya. And the Tatogoa consists of the Omotic languages of the Datoga language groups or the Datoga dialects. Now, the Kalenjin is a group of tribe indigenous to East African community who reside in the former Rift Valley province and the eastern slopes of Mount Elgon in Uganda. And it's approximated that it's about 6.3 million people speak, okay, like it's about 6.3 million people consist of the Kalenjin community, according to the 2019 census in Kenya, and about 273,000 according to the 2014 census in Uganda. And finally, it's about 10,000 people or speakers in Uganda. Now, the sub-tribes of the Kalenjin are the Kipsigis, the Nandi, the Pokots, the Tugen, the Marakwet, the Terik, the Songwer, the Sebei, the Sabaot, and the Keyo, Chorangany, Ogiek, Lembus, and I think those are the ones. There are about 13. Now, Ogiek is a group of the marginalized community that is almost going into extinct, and you realize that they were amongst the earliest inhabitants of this country or East African region. Now, talking about the Datoga languages as the subdivisions of the Southern Nilotic groups, we are talking about a dialect cluster of the Southern Nilotic group. It's a language or a dialect spoken by Datoga people of the Great Rift Valley of Tanzania. The Datoga or Tatoga is native to Tanzania. According to my own research, they're native to Tanzania and in the East African region. The ethnicity is the Datoga, and the native speakers are about 160,000 people, according to the 2009 census. And the language family is, in that order, Nilo-Saharan, Eastern Sudanic, Nilotic, Southern Nilotic, Omotic, Datoga, and then Datoga. Now, talking about the dialects, we have the Asinjeg, the Barabaiga, the Gisamjanga, and the Buradiga, among others. And let's now have a look at the Western Nilotic languages. The Western Nilotic languages consist of a people belonging to the Eastern Sudanic subfamily of the Nilo-Saharan group. And we have the southwestern Ethiopia, South Sudan, northeastern Congo, and the northern Uganda, southwestern Kenya, northern Tanzania. And when we jump to the linguistic classification, we find the Nilo-Saharan, the Eastern Sudanic, Kira-Bayen, Nilotic, Western Nilotic. And I think we will continue right from there next time.